I said I wanted to do PSAs because they're the easiest thing to do. And plus, now we can learn about the age of turmoil from 1953. All the shit people had to go through in 1953.
Are years of upheaval and turmoil.
These people wouldn't know. They're in their 40s.
New and wider relationships with people, and new inner feelings in the early adolescent. Parents of almost every child.
Penises!
Or early adolescence, full of problems. The knowledge that these difficulties are normal and usually only temporary helps to turn family friction into more constructive channels. Let's watch some of these youngsters as they spend Friday afternoon and evening. We'll see what some of the common troubles are.
They're all ugly.
Sally, Joan, and Kay are typical teenagers. Each has her own personality, but they're all normal. Their actions may seem excessive.
They're all white.
For teenagers.
Thank you, Brandy Brandflake.
The unconstructive criticism of school.
Personally, I think Mr. Aldridge's classes are just a waste of time.
You're just saying that because you got an F in everything.
Studying. Why, this morning we spent 20 minutes before we even opened the book or read it.
Hello, Mandy G. Welcome to my anus.
Criticism of families.
Last week
my dad gave me an F too.
One day. I think it's awful the way Mother lets him waste money. Of course, she lets him do anything he wants.
The unrealistic ideas of their own future.
Well,
I think when I grow up, I'll have a job.
I get started in New York and I'd tour all over the country. I'd sure hate to spend the rest of my life in this old dump.
Yes, if you don't make an effort to understand them, teenage girls may seem silly and opinionated.
And stupid. Mostly stupid.
And the boys.
Best pitcher in the National League.
He is nice.
Ah, yeah, I see it.
Have you seen the size of his areolas? He can't pitch.
That combination of new lung power, changed voices, and boundless energy is hard on the neighbors.
Roger Clemens hasn't even been invented yet. Ah!
They seem to spend a useless activity.
Masturbation.
But the gang sticks together. There
Masturbation.
are no girls in it. They are passionately interested in sports.
Hey, look. No, the number 2. Is that good? Wow.
And home.
If Roger Clemens was alive, he'd drive that car.
Is impressed by material possessions. This bolsters Tom's self-esteem. To boast about Dad's popularity or achievement is very satisfying.
It's okay. So Dad got a bonus because he sold more in the last 2 months than any other salesman in the district.
Yeah, but it was just rubber bands and he sold 2.
Bill's response to every situation is concerned with how it affects him.
My old man's got an order in O'Neill's Motors for a new convertible. We're gonna get the
pigeons have been shitting on my shirt for the past 3 hours.
Sam doesn't talk much. He feels safer saying nothing. At least then he can't say the wrong thing. This is a common method of self-protection. At home, away from the group, there are other aspects of adolescent behavior.
Thank you, Mandy.
To parents. There's the untidiness.
Oh, my God.
The eternal hunger, picking at whatever is around.
The eternal hunger of the 63-pound woman. How dare she eat food that's available? What the fuck?
It's certainly annoying to Mother, who has plans for what is to be eaten and when.
Oh, God, no.
These adolescent traits leads to the conclusion that they are normal and based on real needs. Kay is quite mature for her age. She's well adjusted, accepting her defects and trying to make the most of her assets.
I wish I only had 2 arms.
She's tremendously influenced by fashion advertisements and gets ideas and grooming from
advertisements,
television and movies.
She has a bowl full of cyanide. Why? Just in
To wear her
case.
hair and clothes according to the latest style is much more important than to wear them in the most becoming way. She's not mature enough yet to rely on her own judgment. The world knows best, and she wants to be sure of her place in
I
the
need
world.
more glue for my hair. Gorilla glue. Nobody interacts with each other because that is forbidden.
Best. But of course, Mother has old-fashioned ideas.
How about we
Mother
trap
is
some
a little
bears?
overwhelmed by the extremes to which her suddenly grown-up daughter carries her ideas of style. If it's the style to be careless and informal, her sloppiness is so deliberate.
Oh
as to
my
be offensive.
God.
But Mother has learned that these things are usually temporary.
Well,
The less said about
shit's gonna happen.
them, wear off. Objection often brings friction without any change.
I'm leaving.
Half an hour after she has
I'm
left
staying.
her friends, she's on the phone to them again.
Hello, 911. My mom's a bitch and she put a cake away.
Is Joni there?
It seems unnecessary, but there's a real need for talking to others in the same stage, for constant reassurance of her standing as friend.
This is for really, really, really dumb parents.
Idea. Why don't we go down to Johnson's after supper? Maybe some of the gang will be there and we can cook up something.
Maybe.
Gee, Kay, I'm awful sorry. I can't go. I have to stay home tonight. Well, why don't you ask Sally? Maybe she can go.
Why don't we play checkers on my dress until I die?
I'm awful
Joan
sorry.
is not as independent as Kay is, perhaps because she hasn't been encouraged to stand on her own feet.
Perhaps because she's chained to a radiator.
There's no friction in Joan's family life. Her mother finds her a very good girl, not headstrong and flighty like so many of her friends seem to be. She takes her school.
When was the last time I slept?
She has high standards for
8,
herself.
10 hours ago?
Below them, her insecurity and
My
worry
sleep pattern's completely off, that's why.
Joan seems to be coming quietly through these difficult years, but the stress and strain are there and result in an almost complete withdrawal from people. She does a lot of daydreaming, imagining herself as the extrovert that she is not. She goes over and over little events in her life, reliving her successes and suffering through her failures all over again.
Mostly her failures.
Joan doesn't have emotional outbursts. Her safety valve is her diary. Here, she is herself, letting off
Dear
a
diary,
steam
everything I do is terrible.
about growing up.
I think I'm writing sideways, too. P.S. I'm gonna kill myself.
And Sally's home life? Her mother doesn't intend to relax her discipline now, just when Sally needs it most.
Oh, hello, Kay.
Hello, we've had reports of break-in.
Mother, can I even answer the phone without you listening in?
No!
Tonight. You've been out far too much lately.
My mom has buttons on her sleeves and I think it's illegal.
They'll make a fuss, but I'll be there.
Sally wants independence, and this knocking out of the parental prop leaves her no support but the opinion of a
What?
friend.
I can't hear you. The narrator's
Position of them
talking.
at any cost.
Oh, don't let's ask her. She thinks she's so smart. Personally, I can't see what she has to be stuck up about, except a lot of expensive clothes. Anybody'd look good with all that money.
In her need for assurance, Sally tries to avoid girls who are more attractive or have more money or clothes than she has. She wants to have friends on her own level.
Did she? Oh, that just shows how stupid she is.
The long conversations irritate Sally's mother.
Don't call her stupid. Call her a bitch.
And to other people and to herself. For Sally is thinking out loud as she talks. Now let's see how the boys get along at home. Remember, Sam didn't talk much with the crowd. He was
Didn't
more
talk much with that 4-year-old who's been stranded there for days.
His dog provides a great source of comfort and security.
Hey, you're the only one I can trust.
Is all right with him. He's always willing to listen to what Sam has to say.
They're all gonna die except you. Follow me if you want to live.
But there are many questions Sam wants to ask. Many
Is God real?
he wants to
Can I
share with his
masturbate now?
And then they know where to go. And it's all done by code.
Hello, Bam Rocket.
Everybody
Crockett?
knows that, son.
Did you know that, ma'am?
Yes, dear. Oh, by the way, I wonder if we could go up with the old lady.
Oh, by the way, I wonder if we could watch a PSA about how to handle our
They don't
spoons.
realize that the son wants to practice his conversational ability on them. Someday, when he is sure of himself, outside.
Mom, Dad, I got one ball that's bigger than the other.
On the other hand, Tom, who talked so much about his father's achievements, seems most unappreciative of them at home.
Stats.
And he seems to have no ambition.
And he can't hold on to a magazine due to the fact that his motor skills are the equivalent of a 1-year-old.
Father wonders if he's all right mentally.
Oh, God.
Teens are years of uneven development. Experts of mental
I give up.
as well as physical.
Magazines are too hard.
Nothing seems to be happening. In reality, just as Tom's body needs rest after strenuous exercise,
What
so
the
his
fuck
mind
is
needs
wrong with
time
that
to
little
adjust to
shit?
its new learning. And Bill's home life?
Where have you been all afternoon? Your father wanted you to cut the grass, and I had some errands I wanted you to do. Now get busy or he'll be annoyed.
What?
So what?
Bill may be willing to cut the grass sometimes when he feels like it, but rules and jobs laid down too firmly by the top brass make him resentful.
I can't wait till somebody invents a gasoline-powered lawnmower.
Children seem to go into reverse. Psychologists...
Right now, all I have is Segway.
Bill, do you mean to say you haven't finished that lawn yet?
I don't notice you cutting any grass.
Where do you people keep coming from?
You're going to stand that kind of back talk. You're a member of this family, and you're going to act like one. Now, you finish that lawn before supper or else.
Too strict an attitude by parents seems only to result in more resistance.
Look at him eat the apple. He wasn't given permission.
Bill doesn't seem to find companionship at home or enough satisfaction from hanging around with his old friends.
But the gas station, hell yeah!
He's looking for acceptance and help with his problems. Luckily, he finds a friend, older than himself, but a...
Yeah, that's right, I put gasoline in the cars! The cars don't have gasoline, but then I put gasoline in them.
Joe finds the boy a thorough worker, and they have lots to talk about. Local gossip.
Okay, this thing I think is a motor or an engine. I don't know what I just checked.
Feels that Joe treats
I think it's pregnant.
than his parents. He finds it easier to confide in Joe, and he gets a lot off his chest as they chat.
So anyways, you can't fuck the cars. The people who own them don't let you.
Sometimes young adolescents appear to enjoy utter uselessness.
How is this useless? They're trying to pull the arms and legs off people.
Energy can be directed into useful channels.
Oh, Hitler. Hitler.
Sam and Tom belong to the
fuck?
Boy Scouts. Like most teenagers, they enjoy constructive activity in a planned group project. It can be any community group, but organization is needed to ensure that there'll be
I
enough...
think you could say retard. I don't know that it blocks it. I think it's YouTube. Okay, we're gonna put these here.
Adult guidance.
There we go. We built a house.
Quality of leadership becomes established. To be aggressive and bossy is no longer enough for the leader as it was in childhood. He must have skill in both physical and mental activities.
Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a fence and we're gonna fence you in because we don't like you. There's gonna be no way for you to escape.
An outgoing personality. The leader among adolescents is likely to remain a leader through later life.
In adolescence. Inside the tent,
Move out of
furious
the sphere of home
sex.
influence into the community. Young teenagers feel the need of their own kind.
Young
They
teenagers.
begin to patronize hang-ups.
The elderly teenagers.
Because girls are physically more mature than boys of the same
They
age.
have boobs and you don't yet.
Dresses in the early teen years are made by the girls.
Okay, what you do is you tear up the napkin and then you eat it and then it's only 5 calories.
But they're the beginnings of experiment in sex adjustment.
Bitch.
This kind of performance often shocks parents.
Mostly bores.
The boys really do feel superior to those silly girls. But While they pretend to scorn their attention, they're secretly flattered. Nothing would make them admit this, though. Subconsciously, it takes the form of showing off to attract more of the girl's attention.
You see that? See what I'm doing here? Yep, I did it too. Yep, pretty good. What was that?
Kay and Sally didn't get far with the boys, but they found a substitute, identifying themselves with a glamorous movie actress who is very popular with men.
Oh.
Gives them a satisfaction they couldn't get any other way.
Oh, so it's lying to themselves.
Doesn't she care for any activity?
Does she care for a boy's haircut?
And love someone? She does, but she has her own quiet way of working it out. She likes to cook all by herself without
She's not good.
or the confusion of family meals.
She's trying to make stew.
Making candy.
Oh.
It'll be a present for her music teacher, whom she's adored for a long time without telling anybody.
She will have sex. Underage sex.
Teenagers have spent a Friday afternoon and evening. All of them seem to have problems that worry either them or their parents.
For goodness sake, Sam, go to bed. It's late.
Mom, take off your shoulder pads.
All of them experienced some parental friction.
The guardian ad litem said you have to go, Mom.
All want independence. All of them feel some stirrings of interest in sex, either openly or secretly.
I'm gonna put sex on the wall. Love you, Mom.
All of them are trying in their own way to adjust to a new set of circumstances and relationships.
Dad, I was cleaning windshields and checking to see if cars were pregnant. Also, you can't fuck them. Did you know that?
His interest, Tom's father respects him as a person.
Did you have a good meeting tonight? Oh, it was okay, but half the fellas didn't show up.
You learned how to hold a magazine correctly?
What's going on? Nah, they had dates. Seems like the fellas are always going out on dates now. They never...
He doesn't pry into Tom's affairs. The way is left open for discussion. He tries to be helpful.
The whole time you've been gone, I barely read the first page of this newspaper.
Contrast the attitude...
Got to the headline.
Bill, stop that racket, will you?
In a minute.
I'm just putting a nail in a wall for a reason unknown.
I'm trying to listen to the radio. Oh, putting that darn thing up. No, stop it.
I'm listening to the radio show Nail Being Hammered into the Wall, and I can't hear it.
By refusing to recognize his son as an individual with rights and wishes of his own, Bill's father not only fails to get the cooperation he demands, but actually widens the gap between himself and Bill. On the other hand, Tom's parents try to handle the problems of growing up in a constructive way.
It is now 5 a.m. They've been talking for 11 hours. He still can't hold the magazine.
Responsibility for what he does. Therefore, Tom doesn't have to rebel. The stricter discipline of childhood has given place to friendly guidance for the...
Oh, God, I never thought I'd raise such a boring son.
Having understanding parents doesn't eliminate all the problems, but it goes a long way towards lessening the tensions that give to early adolescence its name, the age of turmoil.
Son, I love you in the age of termites. Turmoil. Am I trustworthy? By Elizabeth E. Carey, Ph.D. in Trustworthiness. Bureau for the Instructional Supervisor of Trust. Hey, guess what? 2 + 2 is 8.
Did you ever feel as if you've been left out? Well, that's when it really hurts. When no one understands that you'd do a good job if you had a chance, and that you'd make good. You feel pretty low when you've been left out.
I don't even live here.
Eddie Johnson. And this is his story. A story about the importance of trustworthiness.
Whoa, it took like 8 hours to get in through the doors.
Well, hi, Eddie.
Hello, Dad. What are you doing?
Well, you're kind of late, and Mother was counting on you fixing this lamp. So I thought I'd better do it and have it ready. Is there anything wrong, son?
No.
Come on, you can trust me with your troubles, can't you, Eddie?
Look at my eyebrows.
Why does everybody keep talking about trusting people? They elected Bob the treasurer of our club because he was trustworthy.
Young Joe Biden.
They put me on the cleanup committee. I wouldn't have stolen their money. What's all this about being trustworthy?
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Hold on. Fix the lamp, motherfucker.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I've been in our hobby club for about 3 years now, and I wanted to be treasurer.
I didn't know anything about this.
But at our meeting today...
And this is Eddie Johnson's story. The story of a boy who had his heart set on being treasurer of his club.
I will treasurize you all.
No reason for Eddie to be elected, but like most of us, he just hoped. He hoped someone would nominate him. But whose name do you think they thought of first?
Gil.
Bob West.
Oh, Bob West.
His best friends. Jim Small was nominated too. And Mary Burns. But Eddie? Well, no one even thought to mention Eddie.
It's
And
unlikable.
nominate yourself.
Also, what's wrong with his ear?
So before Eddie knew it, the nominations were closed. And when the voting was over, Bob had won. They said he was elected because he was so trustworthy. Why should they think of Bob as trustworthy and not Eddie?
I know nothing about either.
I'm not going to do any work in the cleanup committee. Why should they say he's trustworthy, Dad? What's being trustworthy got to do with being a treasurer?
Well, Eddie.
Eddie, you put me to sleep with your story there.
But being trustworthy is pretty important to all of us and almost everything we do. If you think of the things you do every day, I'm sure you'll see the important part that trustworthiness plays in helping us to get along with others.
Eyebrows.
Take school, for example.
Take the leeches on my face.
Depend on teachers to fulfill their trust to the parents and all the boys and girls.
Okay, I'm writing down dates. If you're born on this date, you will be retroactively aborted.
Lessons every day. That's how trustworthiness is important at school. And what about trustworthiness with your friends?
What about it?
You're willing to lend something when you can trust a friend to return it. And your friend...
God, the coveted pen.
Take good care of the things you borrow. Being trustworthy with your friends is mighty important. And how about trustworthiness with the different groups of people you meet all around you?
Here's a ticket for doing too much meat.
Or to sell you fresh things of good quality and to deal with everyone.
Oh, God, I hate this.
That helps us all to live.
This woman pours milk into a bag.
So, trustworthiness with groups is important too.
We even said of a defensive play.
Even in the home, trustworthiness makes it easier to get along.
Dad, shut up.
But I've never taken anything that I shouldn't have, or robbed anyone. I'm trustworthy.
Well, let's see. I've always noticed that people have to show that...
We have ice cream torches on the walls. We like to celebrate ice cream.
Just like, well, doing what you say you will.
Like fixing the lamp, for instance?
Oh, there you go.
For instance.
You know, Dad, come to think of it, Bob is a good choice for treasurer.
And I'm a piece of shit.
He's proved his trustworthiness. I was just remembering.
Just remembering.
Just
remembering that Bob shows he can be trusted to do little things.
Like copy homework.
Always be sure, for example, that when he says he'll prepare a class report, he'll stick to it and do a good job, even when it might be more fun to do something else.
We're gonna go hit each other with the
Not a very big
paddles.
thing, but it has helped make Bob known for being trustworthy. At the charge-out desk, Bob helps out at regular times, and he always remembers to be on the job when he's supposed to.
Bob is boring.
Being on time may seem a little thing, too, but it's another important way you're trustworthy. And everybody knows that Bob...
here's something. Can you do something?
Accounts. People are willing to trust someone who has proved he can do the job.
The fountainhead.
Yes, all
there you
these
go.
little things have given Bob a reputation for always keeping whatever trust he accepts.
Bob usually doesn't charge money for things that aren't his, but today's different.
You're all right. But how can I learn to be trustworthy, too?
Well, by showing that he could be in little things, Bob was trusted in big things, too. Perhaps that's the way.
That's what I'm going to do. I guess being trustworthy is pretty important. And I'm taking that job on the cleanup committee.
Shut up.
Good, it works.
Yeah.
Wow. Son, you're now trustworthy.
You know, I have a lot of trusts already. Most of them little, but I never thought of them as trust before.
Why do I wear a scarf? It's April.
At home? And I'm gonna make sure I keep them.
I've raised the most boring son ever.
Being trustworthy includes a lot. From now on, Eddie is going to keep trust by getting to school on time. And he's going to prepare his lessons every day. Those are good ways to be trustworthy at school.
No more robberies or drive-bys.
Trust you have at home. Eddie is going to do a good job when he says he'll help with the work around the house.
It's not plugged in.
And he'll make sure to take good care of all the things he's responsible for. That's the way to be trustworthy at home, isn't it? How about being trustworthy with friends?
How about it?
Well, after this, when Eddie wants to borrow something from friends, he's going to be certain they know he'll return it. And he'll take good care of it. That's one way to be trustworthy with your
Okay, so you
friends.
get the uranium compound, and then you have to put it in the chamber.
Well, Eddie has a trust with the hobby club to do his job.
Oh, dear God, that painting.
Sometimes cleaning up isn't much fun. Why not play darts instead?
Yeah, why not?
No one around, no one would know the difference.
Why not fling the darts at each other? See how that ends.
But what was that Dad said?
Don't play darts when you can clean with a broom.
If they want to be trusted with big ones. That's right.
I wonder, hold on a second, I'm going to see if I can pull this off.
Trust with groups. That's the way a good group keeps going. Each member must keep trust.
Deep trust. Hello. 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 Reverb.
Hi, Eddie.
Is there reverb on this?
A chart of trustworthiness. With all the things we talked about,
Am I getting reverb?
I've been finding out how important trustworthiness really is. And you know, Dad,
Am I?
you can find it everywhere.
The things you do and...
And look, Dad, here's what trustworthiness means.
Am I getting reverb here? Does anybody hear any reverb?
Trustworthy, keep your word,
Reverb? Reverb?
do a good job, and be on time.
That sounds
Reverb.
pretty good, Eddie.
And you know, Dad, it really works.
Reverb.
I've been offered the job at the library desk in our clubroom. That's a job Bob had before he became treasurer.
No reverb.
Well, that's how Eddie Johnson learned something.
Reverb.
How about you?
Reverb.
Do you always keep your trusts?
No.
Remember, when you show you're trustworthy in little things, you'll be trusted with big things. And that's the way to gain a reputation for being
Reverb. What about now? Am I getting reverb now? Now you know how to be trusted. Reverb. No reverb. No reverb. No reverb.
Everybody tells me to be more thoughtful. Well, I'd like to be more thoughtful. If I only knew what it meant.
about being thoughtful.
His issue is being thoughtful, and he doesn't know how to be thoughtful. If only I could think.
How do you go about being thoughtful? What do?
You think.
Every time I try, I only make things worse. Is there some particular method of being thoughtful that works every time?
No, you just make things worse. Whoa.
Yes, everywhere you go, people talk about thoughtfulness.
Like these people.
Just what does thoughtfulness mean?
Yeah.
How does it fit into your everyday life?
I don't know.
To discover some know-how about thoughtfulness, let's follow Jane Proctor into her home.
Yeah,
Well,
let's.
the Proctors are one family who have learned the art of thoughtfulness. If we watch carefully, we'll see just what thoughtfulness is.
I can't wait.
Proctors think it is worth the effort and how they do it.
Latchkey children.
Mom!
Mom! Mom!
Jane,
Mom!
Mom's downtown.
Downtown, I gotta yell louder. Mom! Mom!
Dear Jane and Eddie, I've gone downtown to pay the insurance premium. Please take... Say,
I can't read.
funny. Mom doesn't usually take care of the family business. Please take the ground beef out of the freezing compartment, so it will be ready for supper.
Ground beef, I forgot.
I love ground beef.
I'll get it.
I love telephone, too.
Hello?
Have we seen this one?
Amy. He's right here. I'll take care of the meat.
Thanks, Amy. Hi, Amy.
Yeah, we got ground beef here. You ready? Ground beef. Ground beef.
Well, that takes care of it.
Yeah, we've seen this one. Sometimes I do that. Table manners, turnabouts, how fair play. How to key, 1949. Oh, I need this. This is actually good. I'm keeping a job. And fired from my job. George Holman! You son of a bitch. Ambitious young man can make place for himself in whorehouse. See Mr. Wiley, Dr. Wiley. Like she Ed Wood. Starting rate expected? Put down $1 billion per hour.
This looks all right. Tell me, why are you interested in this job?
I got fired from my last 7 ones.
The chance to go places.
I see. Now, this one job you had with the Central Distributing Company. You worked there for 18 months?
Yes, sir.
Essentially distributed things.
Because I wasn't getting anywhere. After 18 months, I figured I was worth more than they were paying me. And I figured I was ready for promotion to more important work.
I see.
I feel like you're going to not get hired.
I don't know why I stayed as long as I did.
Tell me, were you fired?
Yes,
Well,
I was.
Technically,
But it
yes.
wasn't my fault. The company just up and started firing people. Retrenching, they called it.
For no reason.
What do you think of that?
I think it's a pretty normal situation. A business has to live within its income. Many factors affect that income. Sales, general economic conditions, the development of new industries that...
I came here to apply for a job, not listen to a lecture.
And many other reasons. Businesses often go through periods of adjustment and reorganization when they're forced to let people go.
I didn't do anything. Why me?
Why not?
18 months you hadn't gotten anywhere.
That's right. Other fellows who started later were promoted right over my head.
How much warning do you need? Couldn't you see the company valued the other fellow's services above yours?
Son of a
But I
bitch.
thought I was doing fine. What did I do?
Do you expect me to answer that?
You mangled a man's hand in a machine.
Actually, I probably do know better than you do. I have no business taking time for this, but...
It's still cold!
You might really amount to something if you'd set your mind to it. Try to see yourself as your employer saw you. Better still, let me give you a picture of a case I really do know. It's about a young man who came to work in our shipping room here.
It's you.
And another young man.
And you're not getting a job.
Now, we begin work here at 8:30. That's the time to begin this business of keeping a job.
The man turned into a clock.
And began work every day. We could depend on him to be on time and to do his work on time. You might call him an
idiot.
But look at it from the employer's point of view. Wouldn't you like to have Bob working for you? Dependability is one of the
I don't really have any
keys
job
to keeping a
positions.
job and getting ahead. Now, dependability includes a willingness to work. Some of the work in our shipping room is hard work. That's why we've always had two fellows working there. Well, two fellows who are supposed to be working. The other fellow I want to tell you about is Walter, Bob's brother, Bob's twin brother. But the resemblance is only skin deep.
Oh, God.
Look at Walter.
This is turning into that David Cronenberg movie where they make the lobster-shaped abortion tools.
Look at him from Bob's point of view, and you see how not to get along with your fellow workers. On the other hand,
These children for Wayfair weigh so much.
you know he would do his share of the work and help others who needed help. Cooperation is another way to keep a job. Walter finally decides to go to work, but a job he was supposed to do first thing.
What the?
Actually, he was supposed to run them off the evening before,
What the?
but he put it off.
What the?
This is how not to be dependable. How not
To do your work
with the company
at the
and
last
with your
minute.
fellow workers in your own and other departments. Poor Walter. Who should come into the shipping room but me?
Me.
The boss always seems to find out. Walter's manner gave him away. Now, it isn't hard to learn to make good, clean copies on a duplicating machine.
Why does this say my boss is a
To
jackass?
criticize Walter for making poor copies. And it wasn't the first time he tried to alibi his way out of a situation.
Okay, you see what happened is they turned the crank and then the thing appeared and I don't know how it works.
But how can a man expect to improve on a job if he won't listen to the very people who can help him?
Fuck if
Just
I know.
before closing time, you'll find Bob getting the shipping room ready for the night.
Put the scale here. Over here.
And you'll find Walter getting himself ready. So he won't be a second late punching the clock. An employer sees this as a sure sign that a man isn't really interested in his work.
Walter's pulling off his fingers for no reason.
I ask you, if you were the employer and had to...
Mandy, I am not selling bath water.
That's not hard to answer. But why didn't you go ahead and fire this,
There are two factors here, okay, that are going against the whole bath water thing. First, I have to burp. Excuse me. Second of all, I don't take baths, okay? I'm an American. Americans don't take baths. We either do nothing or we take showers. And I'm not bottling up shower water because then it like goes all over me and then I have to be like, oh, I have to get my coldest water and then soak up all my juices. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting in a fucking bathtub and I'm not using the coldest water to sell for cents on the dollar. I'm talking like, who would buy shower water from a previous webmaster? Who? Besides you. There you go. Yeah, and then I gotta post fucking anime of myself going, hee hee, I'm in the water. Deku, Doki Doki Literature Club. Anime. And everybody's like, wow, anime, that's so fucking hot. So I'm not giving you my shower runoff. I'm sorry.
Walter. Now, don't be too hasty. I'm only telling you about Walter's bad points. He did enough work to hang on to his job.
Barely.
As long as times are good, there'll be jobs for fellows who just barely do enough to get by. But to keep a job when the going gets rough, you need to ensure...
Don't go on Facebook ever. That's the only platform I have.
Your employer can't let you go. We've talked about dependability and cooperation.
No, you have.
Another prime quality is initiative. And for once, I have something good to say for Walter. It's not hard to understand why he was unhappy whenever shipments were left just inside the door. The packages had to be hauled all the way across the room for
so many Chucky dolls to ship out.
Hauled back again when they went out. If you don't like the way things are done, you can spend a lot of time complaining about it. That was Walter's usual way.
Then he brought a gun.
This time, he got an idea.
I'm not texting you bathwater pics!
In every company, there's...
I don't take baths!
And the management usually welcomes suggestions from...
Or pics. Here.
Walter's
No,
idea
here,
was a
hold on.
practical one, so we adopted it.
Here you go.
The company benefits through time saved and less handling of packages. The fellows in the shipping room benefit through having one of their harder jobs made easier. And Walter improved his standing with his employer by his display of initiative.
Uh-huh.
But one good mark isn't enough.
No.
One day, not long after, Walter was taking advantage of a lull in the work.
He was.
And Bob was bringing the shipping records up to date when...
this happened.
What you got there? Shipment for you. Wise guy. Well, finally. The stuff they've been running in here asking about every hour for the last 3 days. Sign here. That's the way it is in this company.
Yep.
They wait till they've run out of something, and everybody runs around like crazy.
Yep.
No system.
We do that.
Nobody in charge with enough brains to start one.
Nope.
What a way to run a business.
If you don't like the company, why do you work for it? Me, I work for a swell outfit. I'm proud of them.
Maybe I'd like to work for them. Could they use me?
What for? A press agent?
Yes, Walter found out.
You son of a bitch.
Nobody thinks very much of a man who talks against the company he works for.
You son of a bitch.
And what did Walter gain by making that false statement about his company? Nothing. Except trouble for himself if it got back to his employer, which it did.
I guess it's not very different from the way I was talking to you about the place where I used to work.
Well, there's a saying, if the shoe fits.
Oh, the shoe fits all right.
Oh, the shoe fucking fits!
Yeah,
there you go.
You can see my shortcomings all over the place. Dependability, initiative, cooperation, and loyalty. I could have done a lot better on every count.
There.
You can do better.
I just texted you an image now. You can just...
Yes, sir.
Here, I'll take another one, too.
I've got a new assistant for you. Bob Addison, this is Ed Blakesley.
Hi, Ed. Glad to meet you.
Bob's a good man to watch. As soon as he trains somebody to take over here, he's moving up to assistant purchasing manager.
Uh-huh.
Say, that's great.
Yeah.
Mr. Wiley's been telling me about you and your brother.
It's Dr. Wiley.
My brother? Yeah, your twin brother, Walter.
I had a point to make, so I invented a twin brother for you. This twin of Bob's, I was really describing Bob's poor conduct on the job.
Uh-huh.
When he came to work here.
Oh, you mean the way I was loafing on the job around here before?
I get it. And then you... Well, if you can... Say, Mr. Wiley, Did I ever tell you about my twin brother?
No, you didn't! You didn't tell me about that!
Along with his hat,
oh, we already did this guy.
Bills, some new shoelaces, in the morning paper. Why isn't that contract there, he wants to know. Or maybe it is. Look.
Maybe it isn't. Maybe who...
Now, young lady, where is that contract? On the desk? Impossible. See?
Involve minor breaches of discipline. These incidents frequently originate in the classroom situation itself and are within the control of the teacher. Disciplinary problems in the classroom are symptoms of underlying weaknesses in total learning situation.
Yep. They sure are.
Mr. Grimes, mathematics teacher...
Mr. Grimes?
...pleased with the progress of his 9th grade class in mathematics.
You see what low grade you made on your weekly mathematics test? More than half of you failed. Most of those who passed just got by.
Most of those who passed also failed.
This is the poorest class I've had in a long, long time. Most of you have no foundation at all. Now, the trouble's with your attitude. You don't pay enough attention in class. You don't do enough work outside of it. You don't know what the word study means. You haven't the slightest idea. Don't you realize that mathematics is an important subject? I tell you right now that unless you get over your lazy habits and come up to the standards I've set for this class...
You will all die!
...the pleasure of repeating this course next semester. Oh, what is it?
A note from Dr. Williams.
You are a bad teacher, but I love you.
All right, that's one. I have to leave for a few minutes. Now, I want you to open your books.
Hey, Squeak.
Correct solutions of the problems you missed.
I can't make any sense out of this. I might as well quit. Gee, you never even took up this third problem. It's a jib.
He's got me scared to death. I'll just never pass this course. What's the use of taking this stuff anyway? I'm afraid to take my paper home.
He's just a sourpuss.
The trouble is, you don't know what the word study means. You haven't the slightest idea.
They're mocking me! They're all mocking me! They will regret it!
What's this? What kind of behavior do you call this? Wait a minute, you stay where you are. This is the kind of behavior I might have expected of you. All I do is leave the room for a few minutes, and what do I find? Confusion, disorder.
Yep.
And you, what were you doing?
Confusing,
Going to
disordering.
the eraser, I suppose. It's a good thing I caught you. I'll make an example out of you. That's enough out of you. Leave this room and report to the principal's office immediately.
Throw yourself into the ocean.
Well, hurry up. Don't take all day. Who did that?
Who didn't?
All right, since you think it's so funny, the whole class can stay in for 45 minutes this afternoon. Then you'll see how funny it is.
The whole class will stay an extra 17,000 hours. Today!
I can't come. I got a newspaper out to do. I got football practice. You can go fly a kite.
I have a piano lesson. I can't miss it. I think he's horrible.
Stop that whispering.
Oh, no.
Mr. Grimes did not have a happy time of the week.
Nope. Corporal punishment became involved.
Who dropped that book?
Who did anything?
All right, I'll wait till you're quiet. failed to hand in your homework yesterday.
Is it tomorrow?
Now, you know that... What is this? Stop that noise. 2 detentions.
One for you, one for me.
Leave this room and don't come back until you're ready to apologize to me.
Well, this is going to get us nowhere.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd better go back to see if we can't find some of the causes of this undesirable learning situation. Just what was Mr. Grimes' purpose in making such statements as these?
I don't know.
This is the poorest class I've had in a long, long time.
This is hardly the way to win friends or influence people.
You don't know what the word study means. You haven't the slightest idea.
Might not be a bad idea to show them how.
I tell you right now that unless you get over your lazy habits and come up to the standards I have set for this class, many of you will have the pleasure of repeating this.
I'm sorry, Mandy wanted some texts of me, so that's what I'm doing. And then I was called a cringe-tard. Can you believe that I was called on my own channel a cringe-tard? Some sort of 4chan shit.
Provocative remarks.
A cringe-tard.
Now take this.
It's a good thing I caught you. I'll make an example out of you.
Oh, come now, Mr. Grimes. By taking it out on the boy, aren't you covering up a symptom of your own deficiency?
Taking it out on the girls?
Who did that?
Yes,
we all did.
Who did?
Who did?
Some boy, probably.
Yeah.
But the chances are it summarizes the feelings of the group. There is an unwritten code covering such situations. Why try to buck it?
All right, since you think it's so funny. The whole class can stay in...
Who was the cringe-tard? I need to know. What did they say?
Punishment is a dangerous weapon and doesn't work too well.
Mandy.
2 detentions.
3 detentions. 9 detentions.
Leave this room and don't come back until you're ready to apologize to me.
400 detentions.
It's a long way to the end of the term. When will this end?
I don't know.
What should have developed into a sequence of pleasant and valuable learning experiences had deteriorated into a series of disagreeable and injurious personal tensions.
They sure did.
This is all wrong. Need any of these incidents have occurred at all?
I don't know.
Suppose Mr. Grimes had tried another approach.
Most of you are disappointed in the low grades you made on this test. So am I.
Yeah.
Nearly all of you had trouble with that last problem on ratio. And perhaps I didn't do a good job explaining ratio.
What would they know about racial?
Ratio is commonly used in everyday life. Mother uses it in the kitchen when she takes a recipe for a big cake and uses proportional amounts of ingredients to make a little cake, or vice versa. But let's suppose a recipe called for 8 cups of flour and 4 eggs.
Yep.
I wanted to make a cake half that size.
I'm learning so much about cake in math class.
Flour and 2 eggs.
That's right. You boys use it in the shop when you read a blueprint.
Yep.
As you know, a blueprint's merely a scale drawing of something that's usually larger. Suppose I had a blueprint of a bridge that's going to be 100 feet wide.
Yep.
But on this drawing, the bridge is only 10 inches wide.
Yeah.
Now, how many feet would each inch represent?
I don't know.
10 feet.
That's right. Now, that's in ratio. Now, let's see where we made our mistakes.
1, your birth.
The problem was this. What is the ratio between 4.5 yards and 1.5 feet? Now, you looked hurriedly at 4.5 and
Hurriedly?
said the answer was 3. Well, that's where you fell into a trap. What you forgot was...
The old turdley trap.
You have to reduce all units of measurement to the same unit. Now, what's the unit here? That's right.
Q.
By golly, I sure fell for that one.
First of all,
Fucking fool.
let's change 4.5 yards into feet.
Yeah.
That gives us 13.5 feet.
Yep.
And now we can divide 13.5 feet.
You can't beat Necropony. I'll tell you that much.
The right answer is 9.
Yeah, of course.
Wow, I see where I made my mistake.
Now, I want you to look over your papers very carefully and see where you made your mistakes. I'll come down the aisles, and if there are any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Yes?
You are not the next vice president of the USA, Mandy. So don't even act like it.
I have to leave for a few moments. On page 15 of your books,
Principal's going to spank me.
exactly like
It'll be erotic.
Suppose you do it
Very
until I get back.
erotic.
I get the idea now. I sure messed up my test paper.
I'm glad he's going over these questions. I'd never make head or tail out of them otherwise.
Well, I'm beginning to get some sense out of this.
Yeah.
I hope I do better next time. I'd hate to bring another paper like this home. The way he explains it, it doesn't seem too hard.
No. Not.
Oh, come on.
It's only hard if you're stupid as fuck.
Oh, let's have some fun while Mr. Grimes is out. Who wants to do these old problems anyway?
Now, you know where that border eraser belongs. That's why I put it there.
Grimes sure caught him in the act. Oh, Grimes is a pretty good egg.
That's more like it. Now you're getting it. Let's see if you can do the next one.
Classroom control and learning efficiency are products of good teaching. Learning must be made meaningful. Interest in work for which learners see a purpose provides its own discipline. But in spite of interest and meaning, it must be remembered that some incidents will occur. Skill in handling such occurrences prevent their growth into problems.
This is true.
Oh, that was a pretty good catch. For a moment, I thought you'd miss.
I'm sorry, but I owed him the apple.
Well, I guess a fellow's expected to pay his debts.
Oh,
boy. Practicing outside of class.
A friendly attitude with a sprinkling of humor goes a long way toward winning the regard and cooperation of the class. For respect is a more desirable molder of behavior than fear. The development of mutual understanding between teacher and pupils will help eliminate disciplinary problems.
Molder. Oh. The end. Well, I hope you learned a lot about it. I hope you learned a lot about all the things that we talked about today. I don't have your mouse pad, dear. And by the way, you cannot beat Necropony. So don't even bother downloading Cybermancer 2077 because you can't beat Necropony. And I've sang Doomhouse like 50,000 times, Mandy. You are demanding. We are not married. You cannot keep on making these demands of me. Doomhouse, woo, dun 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 dun. Everybody's getting doomed now, Doomhouse.